They say the saddest words in the English language are, "what if?" But I think it's not the words themselves. It's the silence that follows them. That quiet moment when you realize the door has closed, and you never even tried to open it. Inside, every person lives a ghost. The ghost of who they could have been. He's not dramatic. He doesn't shout. He simply waits in the corner of your memory, watching the life you chose instead. And every now and then, when things go still, you can almost hear him whisper, "I could have been you, if only you had said yes." We all meet this could have been version of ourselves. Sometimes he shows up when you see someone living the dream you once dreamed. Sometimes when you scroll past a photo, or hear a name that used to mean possibility. Sometimes he arrives when you're lying awake, wondering why time feels faster now than it used to. It's not failure that creates him. It's hesitation. It's the 1,000 quiet moments where we wait too long to decide, where fear feels heavier than curiosity, and comfort feels safer than courage. There's a story that echoes this perfectly. It's about a man named Harlan Sanders. At 65 years old, he was broke, rejected by over 1,000 investors, and living off a $105 Social Security check. But one day, he got tired of listening to his could have been self. So he packed up his recipe for fried chicken and went door to door. That man became Colonel Sanders, and his company, Kentucky Fried Chicken, became a global empire after most people would have retired. Now, this isn't a story about chicken. It's a story about the moment you decide your future isn't done writing you yet. Most people never get to that point. They don't write that book. They don't start their own business. They stop themselves long before the world ever could. Psychologists call it anticipatory regret. That quiet fear that makes you imagine everything that might go wrong before anything has even begun. You picture the rejection, the judgment, the disappointment, and it feels so real that you stay exactly where you are. You don't fail out there. You fail in here, first, in the space between thought and action. So you wait, you reason, you promise yourself you'll start when the time feels right. But waiting too long is its own kind of decision, and the longer you delay, the louder that could have been voice becomes. One day, you might look in the mirror and see him there. Same face, just slightly different. He's you, but with a look of calm certainty in his eyes. He took the leap you didn't. He's not better. He's simply someone who let discomfort guide him instead of define him. And that's all it ever is. A few decisions made with courage instead of caution. Here's the paradox. Potential feels good because it's safe. It's the promise of greatness without the risk of failure. But if you stay in potential too long, it rots. It turns into self-doubt disguised as hope. That's why so many people feel tired without doing anything. They're carrying the weight of unlived lives. There's a term from existential psychology, unrealized self-concept. It means the version of you that never materialized keeps exerting emotional gravity. You can't move forward because you're still orbiting who you might have been. Let me tell you another story. In 1954, a young man named Elvis Presley walked into a small studio in Memphis to record a song for his mother's birthday. He was nervous, quiet, just another kid trying to make something of himself. When he started singing, the producer almost stopped the recording. It was raw, untrained, imperfect. But then something happened. Halfway through, Elvis stopped trying to sound right and just felt the song. The room changed. That moment became the start of a cultural revolution. All because he dared to stop controlling the outcome and let his real self appear. So what do we do about the could-have-been man? We don't silence him, we listen. Because he isn't our enemy, he's our signal. He's the echo of unrealized potential trying to wake us up. He's saying, there's still time to begin. And here's the truth, there is. The moment you recognize regret, you've already started changing it. Here are 3 ways to take control back from the ghost of what could have been. 1. Redefine the timeline. We act like we missed our shot. But time isn't a straight line. It's elastic. Every moment you decide to act is a new beginning, no matter how late it feels. Ask yourself, if I started today, what would change in a year? It's never the time you lost that matters. It's the time you still have. 2. Trade perfection for momentum. Perfection is the disguise of fear. Momentum, even imperfect, rewires the brain for confidence. Psychologist Albert Bandura proved this in his self-efficacy theory. Belief grows from small wins, not flawless starts. So instead of waiting to feel ready, take one step, even if it trembles. 3. Let regret become your teacher. Don't numb it. Study it. Ask, what is this feeling trying to protect me from? Regret often hides behind self-preservation. Once you expose it, you realize it's just fear pretending to care. When you face it directly, the could-have-been person fades, and the still-can-be one takes their place. Imagine standing once more in front of that mirror. You see the person who never tried, and the one who's about to. They look identical, except for one small difference. The second one has decided, and that decision, to begin, changes everything. I believe you've landed on this video for a reason. Maybe it's not by chance that you're here, right now, listening to these words. Some part of you already knows what needs to change, what door you've been standing in front of for too long. So here's your task. Within the next 24 hours, take one small, honest step toward the life you've been imagining. Send the message. Write the plan. Make the call. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Create one. And when you do it, let me know in the comments what step you took. Sometimes sharing that small act of courage is the first proof that change has already begun. Maybe you've already missed chances. Maybe you've already let moments go. That's okay. Regret is proof that you cared enough to wish it went differently. But life isn't made from what you didn't do. It's made from what you still can. The could-have-been man or woman doesn't disappear when you act. They transform. They become your witness, your proof that you chose courage over comfort. And one day when you look back, you won't hear that quiet whisper saying, "You could have been me." You'll hear something else. A voice, calm, steady, and sure, saying, "I am finally becoming who I was meant to be." You don't need to rewrite your past. You just need to start turning the page.